All right, guys, good morning. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna pretty much try to expand on what I learned yesterday. The videos that I launched in the last few days, I'll put the links down in the description, but they talk about developing a pattern. Well, I'm gonna take that pattern that I developed yesterday and I'm gonna try to figure out how to catch the big ones. So, kind of the same sort of deal. I'm just gonna tell you my decisions and tell you what I'm thinking and just run you through it and try to figure out how to go out and catch more than just a 3.5 to 4 pounder. I want to catch a 5, 6, and 7 pounder. Who knows? If I fail, you're still going to see this video. So sit back and enjoy the video, and I hope you learned something. All right, so the first place I went to was a place I caught my first fish yesterday, flipping holes, flipping brush, and I never drug a worm through there because I didn't figure that out until I went to a couple hours later actually. So I'm back here. There was a bunch of fish here. There were some big ones, there were some small ones that I could tell, but I don't know. So I'm just gonna sit here on the outside edge of the grass line and drag it around. You'll see fish schooling up in here because there is a lot of fish in this grass, and that grass patch, this grass flat right here, is huge, probably 3 acres, 4 acres. So I'm gonna spend a lot of time here, see what happens. And I'm constantly looking for that hard line where that grass stops. You know, I'm in 7 feet of water and I don't see any grass on the graph. I'm looking out, I'm not seeing any grass, but when I make a cast, I feel it. So that's where I want to be. I want to be a cast and a half of a cast from the edge of the grass, making a cast into the grass and dragging it through. And to be honest with you, I should start on the deep side, but it's pretty deep on both sides, but the river channel is over on that side. I may do this for a couple of minutes and then slide over there and see what happens. All right, what I'm fishing, what I've done is I don't have any green pumpkin old monsters. I looked everywhere and I couldn't find any. I've got a couple of worms in here that have ribbon tails, but I went ahead and put this is a blue craw cutter worm, Strike King Rage Tail cutter worm. 3/8 ounce weight, pegged. I pegged this one yesterday afternoon. I didn't peg them, but I'm gonna try to see if it comes to the grass easier when it's pegged, which it should. But got it on a medium heavy, my jig rod, medium heavy 7'3", black or blackout, 8:1 gear ratio, concept A, and 20-pound test fluorocarbon. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and work my way over to the deeper side. The reason I'm gonna do that is because bass, and especially older bass, they relate a lot more to deeper water. They're not in deeper water, but they want to be close to it to feel safe. That's their safety. So if they get spooked or whatever, they can just slide off into deeper water and be in a safe place. So that's typically where you should start, or where you should look. On any place, you should take a look at the deeper water some period of time while you're there. I usually start off deeper water. The one thing we are missing right now is wind. I mean, this water is slick as snot. It's gonna be tough fishing for right now. It's not, you kind of want to have to stay way back and be really, really quiet. And I think dragging something is probably the best thing. A moving bait like a spinner bait doesn't typically work very well without any wind. Of course, I've got a little bit of stained water too, so that also helps. All right, let's figure out a depth. Maybe they're up shallower and they're not on the edge yet. Or maybe I need to get close to the mats and fish the mat edge. That might be the smartest thing to do. Yeah, let me fish that edge that's closer to these mats, because I think that, I don't know, just got a feeling that the bigger ones are going to be over there. There we go. Well, maybe I was right. Look at that. A little bit better. Boy, he's skinny though, my goodness. And he took it deep. Let me get that hook out real quick. Guys, there's a way to get a hook out of a gut hooked fish out. And it's hard for me to videotape it. Basically, you go up underneath the gills, way up underneath the gills. You flip that hook out. You basically turn the hook over. It comes out just like that. Sometimes they bleed, sometimes they don't. I'm gonna try to find a link to the picture. It's like the directions that somebody did years ago. I think it was, let me put this fish back. I think it was Field and Stream had an article out where they showed exactly how to do that. And until I'm able to get a video camera or a cameraman to be able to explain it, I'm gonna start putting that link in the description to that article so you guys can figure it out, because you literally can save fish's lives by simply knowing how to do that. But anyway, what I was doing is I was casting and I threw up, there's a patch of grass. Let me turn the camera and show it to you. There's a patch of grass that comes out further than anything else right here. I threw up into that patch of grass and there's nothing out here, there's no grass, so there's a grass edge, an obvious grass edge. And I was throwing right onto the edge and I got bit three casts in a row and I caught the third one. So now that I got that bite, I'm gonna slow down right here and I'm gonna work this grass edge real good until I don't get any more bites, and I'm gonna move on. But that's the biggest thing, is once you get bit, slow down. Pick that place clean, because bass are schoolers. And they may not school really tight, they'll be a loose school, but bass will be schooling somewhere. Not a big one, but same exact spot. Little bitty. All right, so there is nothing around here. There's those two I caught up there, but I haven't seen anything, no activity or anything all along this whole entire grass edge. I want to go find a place that that has, you know, goes from matted grass to a drop to bottom with no scattered grass in between, is what I'm looking for. And change things up just a little bit. All right, so the one thing to think about when you're talking about submerged vegetation like hydrilla and milfoil is that it's a filter, and it filters out the dirt that's in the water and the plankton and everything else that flows through the water. And that's why a lot of lakes that have hydrilla are fairly clear, or they start muddy at one end and they're clear by the other end, because that water's been filtered out. And so as this water flows through this hydrilla, you'll have a dirty side and you'll have a clean side. And what's going on right now is the bait fish, the shad that are in this lake, are going up into this hydrilla and they're eating the plankton off of the hydrilla. It's like a dang buffet. It's filtered it out and they come along and eat it. So what's gonna hang out, because that's where the bait fish are? The bass. So the bass are gonna hang out and eat the shad. So the one thing that I've figured out in the last few days is that the dirty side is better than the clean side, because by the time the water gets clean, ooh, I know where I'm fishing next. So by the time the water gets clean, that grass is clean, so it doesn't have any of the plankton that they eat. So anyway, keep that in mind. And that is why you wear a good pair of sunglasses. Just about hit myself in the eye. The hard brake line didn't work. There was a ton of fish there. The only problem is that they were scattering. I mean, they were moving too much. I could not keep up with them. They were basically just following schools of shad and just eating those shad. So trying to get one to bite was near impossible. So I'm back out to my original pattern, which is this scattered grass. It's out away from the mats. It's got a few little places that are topped out. The grass is topped out, but I'm just gonna do what I've been doing, dragging. I put a rage craw on there this time, or not a rage craw, a rage bug on there now. A little bit smaller profile, trying to get it to look like a smaller fish or smaller something. And found this isolated, it's a large isolated grass flat. And what this will do, with it being scattered, it's got plenty of places for the bass to hide and swim in and around, and it'll help them to stay still longer. At least that's my thought behind it. So, and there's plenty of schooling going on. So let's see if I can catch one. Well, I'm getting pretty discouraged. There's a few things that are against me today. There's a lot less current today than there was yesterday. They're not pulling near as much water. And there's hardly any wind. And so the bite is tough. I may have to take a break and go eat something and then come back a little bit later and see if I can't get an evening bite. Just frustrating. That's what days are like this. Just, you know, sometimes things just don't go in the right way. I mean, the fish are here, they're feeding, they're schooling, but the only problem is they can see very, very well. And even if you throw something that even remotely looks like the bait fish, they're looking for whole schools of it. So anyway, it is what it is. All right. Well, I know the sun's behind me, bad lighting, but I made a long run, about 22 miles. And I'm just gonna look. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just frustrated, but I made a long run. I'm gonna come up here and just kind of check this place out. I've never been up this far north on the lake before. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna run these grass mats until I see a sign, until somebody tells me something. And then I'm gonna fish and talk about it. So what I'm doing right now is I'm looking for life again. I'm fishing grass mats. So ultimately what I want to hear is I want to hear those bluegill popping on those grass mats, eating bugs or whatever they do that make that dang sound. The big ones, they sound like a 22 going off. But whatever it is they do, I sure would like to hear it. And at the same time, I'm looking for swirls and chasing fish and anything that tells me there's life in the area. So basically I started all over. Well, I might finish this with a few fish. What? I caught one. I absolutely caught one. Oh, buddy, come on now. Don't be messing things up. Come on. Ouch, you going back in the water? I caught a fish. Ooh, let's catch another one. Whew, I don't know what to say. Today I sucked. I had a goal that I wanted to, come on buddy, I'm gonna let you go. I had a goal that I wanted to catch a big one. I didn't. It was miserably hot, no wind, no current, full of excuses, but I caught fish. I hope you learned something today. I did. Learned there's a bigger shad up here on the north end of the lake. I learned a bunch of other stuff too. But, well, subscribe to my channel and check out my Fishing Shirt of the Month Club. But like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out on the water, go out and catch some fish. Have a great day. See ya.